Well, we're back talking about
Forgiveness. We actually touched on this a video ago or videos ago, maybe, but actually I want to touch on it a little deeper. And what is forgiveness, and what is the cost of not forgiving? Why do we not forgive? Is it a reflection of who we are, our identity? I don't know.
that's a really great question. Why do we not forgive? Wow. I think it's ego-based, right? Like
Ego?
they did this to me.
So there's
How
a
dare
certain,
they?
there's a certain amount of indignation
Right? Which goes,
to kind of like self-worth, self-importance.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Interesting.
It is interesting.
So Wendy, why do you not forgive me?
Obviously, I've forgiven you. I wouldn't be sitting next to you.
It's true. That's true. Have I given you ample opportunities for
Oh
forgive
my
me?
God, too many. Like you say, don't ask for patience because you're going to be given all those opportunities to practice it.
When I think about forgiveness, I think about it appears that I almost have to give up something to forgive.
Wow, really?
I think so. I think sometimes in the way that I think, and I know it's not necessarily true, because in essence, when you forgive, you're actually taking care of yourself first by not carrying around that baggage that's been on your back or wherever you generated it from. But there is that part, that primal aspect of me that says for me to forgive means I have to maybe admit something, or it seems to go against the primal survival aspect of me.
Wow. Okay. So how do you forgive, and what have you not forgiven that you're aware of? Well, let's start. How do you forgive? That's question number one.
Question number one, how do I forgive? Ask for clarity.
From who? Like from yourself, or are you asking for clarity from the other person?
I think I'm probably asking for clarity within myself, within my higher self, maybe through some journaling, through some meditation. This kind of gets all into the perspective and perception of how we see the world. And quite often, I see the world this way, maybe you see it from this way. But if I misinterpret something that may create an angst in me, it's almost an act of forgiveness to work through that.
Right.
So as not to harbor any bad feelings, any resentment, or things like that.
Right. And I think you had brought this up in one of your courses or something, just that, there's times, and it goes back to perspective and what we think we need to forgive, or a sense of being wronged, is that if you see your friend and you're calling out to them, hey, what are you doing? I'm right here. Like, don't you see me? And they just completely ignore you. Like you think, oh my gosh, they don't want to talk to me. Like, what happened? What did I do? And like this whole inner dialogue can explode when in fact they may have had their headphones in, they were listening to music, they didn't hear you,
they were in a rush to catch
whatever, and like they were not even tuned into you. So oftentimes people may hurt our feelings when it's all and it's
our interpretation
of events. They had no one. It was the furthest thing from their mind to slight you or to hurt you, or the way that you are in an emotional state and how you interpret a comment.
Correct.
one minute might have been funny and the other minute it's not funny because
Biting,
yeah,
hurtful.
right. So, I mean, like that goes into a whole nother level of, yeah, what we may or may not need to forgive and that inner dialogue about what you were saying. So,
So yeah, I think that's really important to touch on even further, is that as we interpret our world, it's filtered through a lot of our emotions,
mhm,
past experiences, what's going on in that particular day. And so all those filters shade the world that we actually see.
yeah. So, how do you forgive? I mean, like, let's go back to that.
Back to how do you forgive? Again, it's for me, it's the journaling, the asking for guidance, meditation.
Do you take it to that person at some point?
If it's important enough, I think I do take it to that person. Have I brought it to you?
Now, without prompting, but yes, Joe,
No,
you
without
do.
prompting. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And
No, there have been times where you have brought it to me and you're like, that really pissed me off. It
it
hurt.
hurt my feelings.
Yeah.
So, and that brings up another aspect of forgiveness. It's being vulnerable enough to stand within yourself and admit, hey, what you said, it hurt my feelings. Did you mean it as I interpreted it?
Right. Well, and yeah, it allows for healing and it allows for dialogue and a clearing of the air and not starting a checklist of like, well, you did this and you did
You
this
did
and you
this,
did
that,
this.
that.
And so
Damn you.
it keeps the air clean and the emotional connection clean.
Yeah.
So that's really important.
So how do you forget? I mean, when you think of forgiveness?
I mean, I think I'm a pretty direct person. So I also will first internalize something, but maybe not. Maybe I'll just say, wow, that was a little bit mean, or like,
Okay.
did like this is what I just heard. Or if but if somebody like left me out of something, like I felt like I was
Slighted maybe, or
yeah,
excluded.
excluded, like, wow, why didn't they want me to be a part of that? Like, um, I know that that has to do with me, but it also has to do with me recognizing that maybe it has nothing to do with me. And or maybe I need to have a conversation with the person. So I'm not really answering the question, how do I forgive somebody? But I go into a space, let me say this.
Okay.
I go into a space of, do they love me? Do they care about me? And if so, if the answer is yes, do I think they really intentionally tried to hurt me?
Hmm.
Are they just going through something? I try to explore what the different aspects of what happened and the reasons behind it. If I'm
Okay.
making something that doesn't need to be made, or to find out what's happening and what's going on with them. I think,
Okay. So I'll let you continue to think on that one a little bit. What are the ramifications of not forgiving?
Well, there's a lot. There's the distance, the emotional, you're clogging up the emotional connection.
Okay.
The fact that if you're not forgiving and you're having bad thoughts, probably, and things just can't be good between two people when there is things that you're not forgiving for. So, because you start to add and pile
Yeah.
up the hurts and the instances of what they're not doing good for you, how they're hurting you, how all the time they're doing these things,
Yeah.
rather than helping you.
Exactly.
Also, you're automatically energetically continuing a cycle of that, like, because if you're thinking ill of somebody because you're not forgiving them, um that process, like they receive that. I mean, it's thoughts are energy,
Yeah.
and that is going to be continuously pulsed upon them. So there's that. But in and of yourself, it damages you because you have residual anger or residual contempt and dis-ease that you're holding on to. So you can't be in a state of true grace and love. You're almost falling into like victim mentality because this stuff happens to you. And then you just keep on
rolling.
Well, not just rolling, but you keep on attracting that too.
Yep.
Again, like that takes it on a different level. But did that fully answer? If that did not fully answer, you put that question down and ask me to put it in the comments and ask me to clarify, please.
So in my mind, I'm thinking when you don't forgive, one, you're shutting yourself down. You're putting yourself in a bubble. And everyone knows that when you think about an incident and you're wronged and that person that did this was wronged you, and as you replay it, your mind plays tricks on you, and you get a little more, but you get a little less, and then the other person gets a little more meaner and stuff. So it's kind of how that resentment feels or builds. So in doing that shuts you off even more. And there's just simple preoccupation of a naggingness almost.
Well, and I think you replay it.
Yeah.
You replay it like, oh my God, did you know? Like, this is what happened to me today when I was at the food store and this person cut me off or whatever. I mean, like every time you keep going at it, I mean, it could be as simple as that, right? Like you just need to let it go and forgive that person. Like maybe they didn't see you, or maybe they were just in a big rush, or maybe that's just the way they are. But do you have to internalize that for you? So it can be about some total stranger, or it could be about someone that you love.
Correct.
But regardless, you just have to like, let it go. Let it go.
So if you don't, basically what you're doing is harming yourself.
Yes, you are harming yourself.
And you're creating, left untreated, it's been proven that dis-ease leads to disease.
Correct.
So those resentments that left untreated, or those wrongs left unaddressed.
Well, and again, you just stay in if you continue to live in that state, you are, and I hate to say victim, but you're in a victim mentality of life is happening to me rather than life is happening by me. And I know I sound contradictory sometimes in what I'm saying, that because then I also talk about surrender, but surrender is part of by me. It's not to me.
Gotcha. So we've got forgiveness. We've got how we both approach forgiveness, how it affects us. Any closing thoughts about forgiveness?
I think my biggest thing is just, I feel like you just need to have conversations with people when it is deeply affecting you. Like, don't try to bottle things up. Even if it's something small, it could be like, I was hoping that you would have thought about me a little bit more, or like, why didn't you leave me a note today? Like, but just keep dialogue open. And there's a way to dialogue with people where you're not pointing fingers at them and creating defense mechanisms and defense walls to come up. There's a way to say, to come at it and make it about what your emotional state is feeling, and give people like,
I was gonna say, ask questions.
Yeah.
If you feel slighted, I mean, it takes great courage to ask, hey, what you said, and it hit me right here and it didn't feel good. Did you intend that? And I will guarantee you 9 times out of 10, they did not intend it how we actually interpreted it.
Yep. And then there's that one time that I'm like, yep, I did mean to hurt you because you pissed me off and I wanted to get back at you.
So it's back and forth, back and forth.
Tit for tat. Yeah, no, that does not happen very often, but there are
It
times
happens.
where it happens, I mean,
I can be pissy and want to make her pissy.
yeah. I don't often fall into that trap, but every now and again I do.
Yes.
All right, we're wrapping up.
Forgiveness. Give us some thought. And forgive.
Forgive us for being so long-winded and rambling.